Broadcasting from down on the Bayou, it's the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast, a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com. And now your hosts, Michael Leander and Patrick Fry.
And welcome to episode 73 of the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast. We are broadcasting live from the Collar and Elbow Studios. Remember, when you make an order on collarandelbowbrand.com, you put our code at the very end, the promo code, TheAverageMarks. No space, one word, TheAverageMarks. You can save 10% on your order. This week's product of the week is the Taking Care of Business shirt. It's kind of like the Elvis TCB signal.
Yeah.
With the lightning bolt.
Okay.
It's black and yellow.
Yeah. Oh, Wiz Khalifa.
But it says CXE on it instead of TCB.
Uh-huh.
So it's pretty dope.
And I see you're wearing the ECW-inspired collar and elbow shirt right now. I see that there. It's one of your go-tos.
Shout out to Al Snow and all the peeps over at collarandelbowbrand.com. They're an awesome sponsor of the show. Now, how this works is you get 10% off your order, but not only do you save money, Collar and Elbow pays us a little money from each order, too. So it's a win-win. You save, we make a little. It helps keep this content going, helps us, do extra stuff for the show. So it works hand in hand. collarandelbowbrand.com. Use our promo code at checkout, TheAverageMarks.
All right, for today's episode, AverageMarks number 73, May the 12th, 2019. Possible TV deal announcement for AEW. A lot of talks about where they may end up on television, and we may get that answer next week. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Also, some heat on Lars Sullivan. Apparently, some old posts have been brought up, and it's been around for a little bit, but now people are really starting to talk about some of the things he said. We'll talk about that. Also, an update on Tommaso Ciampa. He tweeted out a little update. And then, of course, next week, Full Throttle Wrestling. We'll talk a little bit about that. And we have an interview with the Pillars. You talked to the Pillars, Titan and Hunter. Mm-hmm. We'll have that for you coming up here. And all on the Average Marks, episode number 73 for May the 12th, 2019.
Right. Check us out on social media at the Average Marks, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch. We're on there. I know we said we're going to be live streaming this week, but the interview went a little bit longer than we thought. And then plus I forgot the Bang energy drink.
Yeah, well, it happens.
Which I needed because I'm yawning like crazy over here.
We should make some coffee or something.
Yeah.
I drank a little coffee on the way in, so I'm ready to rock and roll.
Also, check us out on patreon.com. If you like our content, you can support us for as little as $1 a month. Now, if you want to bump that up a little bit for $3 a month, you get to hear the podcast a day early. We tape on Saturdays. It will be up on Saturdays on our Patreon with the $3 tier. If you want to get exclusive audio and video, that's just $2 more with the $5 tier. And if you want an exclusive piece of merchandise every single month, you go to Great Muda status, which you get everything we said before, plus you get a free merchandise, AMP merchandise every single month. That's $50 a month. So there's many, many levels of support, all the way from $1, $3, $5, $10 to $50. Mm-hmm. So if you like our content, consider supporting us.
Absolutely. Ready to dive into the first topic?
Let's dive into it.
All righty. So a possible TV deal right now they're saying is virtually done with All Elite Wrestling and Turner. This is what it on the Wrap.com is saying. The All Elite Wrestling Turner deal is now, quote, virtually done. A person with knowledge of the plan tells the Wrap. Current plans call for the partnership to be announced through select press 1 hour before Warner Media's Wednesday upfront event. The arrangement made between the parties call for a small group of reporters to be informed of the agreement on an embargoed basis the evening before. Tony Khan and some of the wrestlers are expected to be in attendance at Madison Square Garden to pitch to the media buyers. The person told us the presentation begins at 10 a.m. Eastern on Wednesday. Current plans call for Turner to begin airing AEW wrestling shows, weekly AEW wrestling shows this fall on TNT. Financial terms of the deal are not expected to be disclosed as AEW is not a publicly traded company. The leader in the space, of course, WWE is. This is what the article says. When reached, a spokesman for Turner declined to comment on this story. A rep for AEW has not responded to the Wrap's request for a comment as well. So it's looking like they're going to be on TNT or TBS maybe. I think right now, everyone's thinking TNT, probably start in the fall sometime. Of course, SmackDown goes over to Fox in October, and a lot of people are thinking that could be when AEW's weekly TV show is going to start, so that would be really interesting. But of course, we don't have an actual. Nothing is for sure yet. These are all reports. On Wednesday, wrestling fans, be on the lookout for probably 10 a.m. Eastern time. Apparently, is when all this is going to go down. I don't know if it's going to be broadcast anywhere, this press conference or anything, but certainly, if some press will be there, it won't be long before after they make the announcement, we hear about it. But there may be somewhere we could watch or listen to this live. Who knows? So, TV deal seems like it's, like I said, quote, virtually done, according to the Wrap.
Yeah, and TNT makes sense because obviously it has a history with wrestling. Mm-hmm. And I'm surprised that the Turner Group is all about this because obviously Ted Turner's dead. When he was alive, he loved wrestling. That's why he brought the product to his television network. But at the same time, all of his suits didn't like wrestling. They thought it was stupid. They thought it was, barbaric. They thought it was redneck, and they hated wrestling, and they couldn't wait. What was that?
I was about to say Ted Turner is still alive.
Oh, he's still alive?
Yeah, he's 80 years old.
Oh, okay. I
was like, you said he died, and I was like, let me look. So
I thought he had passed away.
He Googled his name. No, he's still. He's 80 years old. I don't know what exactly he's doing these days. I don't know how much. He's of course the founder of CNN. He's I don't know how much he's doing these days. He might just have somebody else taking care of all that. Right. But he's still alive. He's 80 years old.
I think he sold to somebody too, didn't he?
He may have. I don't know. I just Googled Ted Turner.
We need to get an intern again so we can get all this stuff Googled.
His net worth is $2.2 billion as of November of last year, though.
God bless him.
But nonetheless, TNT, which was, of course, the home of WCW Monday Nitro, now, 20 years later, we're going to start. Maybe it's not going to be the Monday Night Wars. I don't think AEW is going to be on Monday nights. The rumor is that they're going to be on Tuesday nights because, of course, SmackDown's going to go to Friday nights.
Right.
But at the same time, Tuesday nights, that's NBA nights for TNT. So that right there, to me, Tuesday night doesn't quite make sense because, let's face it, I'm not trying to hate on AEW, but if you're TNT, are you really going to, knock out your NBA games that probably draw great ratings because because it's always if it's on TNT, it's always at least a decent game.
Yeah.
So are you gonna get rid of or have that step aside for an unproven wrestling company? So that'll be interesting. That's what the rumors are.
Yeah.
Of course, Tuesday Night Dynamite. I think AEW filed for the trademark for
it.
So that right there leads us to believe that they want to do something on Tuesday nights. But when the NBA season starts, there'll be the Tuesday night games. TNT does them. So that'll be an interesting dynamic to see how that works. Maybe they put it on another night. I don't know. We'll see what happens. But Wednesday, we're going to find out. I have a feeling. So looking forward to seeing the what's going to happen. How is it going to, basically how is everything going to unfold? That's going to be what we're looking forward to seeing.
I'm excited, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. Another weekly, wrestling program that is truly going to be an alternative to WWE. It's going to certainly target a whole different audience. It's going to target guys like us, older guys, older people in general, because I tell you what, watching these Road to Double or Nothing videos that they're putting up on or is it the Nightmare Family on YouTube? Cody and them are putting these videos up, the Road to Double or Nothing, based on just what Chris Jericho says. Like, this is not going to be a PG company,
God bless him.
Not a PG product. It's going to be at least TV-14. So it's going to be very interesting, to say the least. So looking forward to this TV or this announcement of a possible TV deal on Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern. So all wrestling fans be on the lookout. That's Wednesday. What date is that? That is. Let me pull the calendar up here. It's one behind you. That would be the 15th on Wednesday the 15th. We're going to find out 10 days before Double or Nothing, too.
Right. And there was some bad information that got sent out about Double or Nothing from Ringside News that they corrected. Mm-hmm. Apparently, they were telling everybody that the pay-per-view was not going to be a pay-per-view, that Double or Nothing was going to be shown free on YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. But apparently, that's only the pre-show.
Yeah, I find it hard to believe they're going to offer that for free. not saying it would be a bad idea because, as you know, AEW, if you're looking through the eyes of AEW, this is, you know, your first big event. Your first, technically, if you think about it, your first real wrestling event. You've had, you know, the couple of press conferences. I'm sure they're going to have one more press conference, I'd like to think, or something, one more event to build up Double or Nothing, hopefully. And, you know, your first big wrestling event, I would not be surprised if they said have it for free to get eyes on the product, because you get the eyes on the product and it, you know, it goes as well as we expect it to go, then people are going to have, you know, you can charge at least $20, which is double of what you would pay technically for the WWE Network per month. And I don't know if they're going to do monthly pay-per-views or whatever, but, and then of course you get the TV deal and whatnot. You can do it for free because there's going to be plenty of chances for AEW to make that money, you know, long term,
right,
long way down the road. You can, you know, just to kind of, hey, look, we're offering this for free just to kind of, you know, make a splash, so to speak.
And then you sell advertisements during it, live reads,
yeah,
you know,
exactly,
15-second commercials.
Because you know there's going to be a lot of people watching this.
Oh,
whether
yeah.
or not, and of course, in I think across the pond over there, well, you know, Conrad and them, they want to watch it. ITV announced that they will be showing the event on a ITV box office, I think is what it's called. So
yeah, and you pulled it up, and it was like,
I saw some prices,
$14.95 or something.
Yeah, I
like
saw
that?
some prices. It was francs or euros or whatever, like $14.95 and $17.95. I don't know what that equivalent is in US dollars, but certainly we still don't know. And I think, you know, I saw somebody on DirecTV. It's showing up on DirecTV. It's showing up on Dish Network. I think I saw somebody had a screenshot. I don't know if it's legit or not, but standard definition was $50 American dollars. I don't know.
Why would you charge people in Europe who are not going to come to your house shows $14, but you would charge your base $50?
Yeah, well, I don't know.
That's BS. Go ahead and say it, Patrick.
I mean, if they charge us a lot more than they're charging them, yeah, it's BS.
That's wrong, Cody.
Yep.
And now I wonder if, like, because we were talking, I wonder if they're going to, like, if they have some kind of deal struck up at the fight, because we still haven't heard where they're going to show it here in the U.S.
Well, let's put it this way. Wherever they're going to show it, it's going to have to be because it's you know, I'm looking at the calendar right now. It is less than 2 weeks away now.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about that time. Hey, we got to, you know, we're less than 2 weeks away. You know, it felt like we've come such a long way since January, whenever they announced that all Elite Wrestling was going to be a thing, and now it's almost here. So speaking of it almost being here, the Battle Royal, the Casino Battle Royal, they just added the rules to that, I think, in the last week or so. There's going to be 21 wrestlers. It's an over-the-top battle royal. They're going to start with 5 men. Every 3 minutes, a new wave of 5 men will enter. Lucky number 21 will enter last by themselves, is what I'm guessing. Battle royal entry numbers picked at a later date. I think what they're going to do is they're going to have 21 cards, and I think what they're going to do...
Playing cards.
And there's going to be 21 cards. There's going to be a Joker card, and then there's going to be 5 cards of each suit, which is 4 suits, so that's 20 cards. That's what I think that's going to happen. And let's say, you know, everyone that picks a spade is going to go out first 5. Everyone that picks the diamond is going to go out the second 5, and so forth. So,
yeah.
And then lucky whoever picks the Joker card is going to be lucky 21 will come out by themselves, basically equivalent to the number 30 entrant in the Royal Rumble. So,
did you watch the new episode of Road to Double or Nothing?
I did.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah, Jericho is
top-notch.
And I think Cruz even said it in our chat. You know, he's definitely up there now as the top heel probably in all of professional wrestling right now. Just the way he's...
Yes.
You know, he's been spectacular for AEW so far. So I'm pretty sure he's their highest paid just
Well, that's
wrestler.
what Cody said.
Yeah, he's their highest paid... Well, I have a feeling that Omega, the Bucks, and Cody are probably getting paid as much, if not more than him, because they're executive vice presidents.
Right, but
Jericho
he's a performer,
Jericho is strictly a performer, and I think that's what he meant. He's the highest paid person who's strictly a performer. So, but you know them EVPs making a little more. You know they make a little bit more.
Did you get to the part of the episode with that kid from Georgia they're putting in there with no legs?
Yeah, I did see that.
That guy's amazing.
Yes, and he's going to be in the Battle Royal.
Yeah, and they said the person who wins is going to have a shot at the heavyweight championship.
Yes, at the AEW World Championship, which I guess they have a belt because in the video, something's draped over the belt.
Yes.
So that's good if they have an AEW World Championship, because let's face it, at the end of the day in pro wrestling, what is it all about? Championship. So I'm a little disappointed, and I'm not knocking on the company, but little disappointed that there won't be an AEW World Championship match on the first, Double or Nothing. I feel like, hey, look, just put it out there. Like, you got to have something, like let Jericho and Omega fight for the AEW World Championship. I think that'd be great.
Or even the Pac and the Hangman match would be great for that title.
Yeah, that would be. But I feel like that match is more of a. Well, of course, Pac is a champion with Dragon's Gate right now.
Yeah,
he hasn't dropped that belt yet. So, what that match would be more to me right now, based on how they're booking it.
Like a secondary title?
No, like a number one, like winner would be number one contender for the AEW World Championship. But then now you have the winner of this Casino Battle Royal who is going to get the next shot at the AEW World Champion, which right now we don't know who the first AEW World Champion is even going to be.
But then again, you look at the roster of this match, the 21 guys, none of them were top guys. Like, why would you let one of these dudes be in your first heavyweight title match?
Yeah, well.
Like, if you look at the list, there's nobody there.
Not yet, but it's slowly building. They're right now, we're still in the very, very early stages of them building this roster. Because
the only person that has any name recognition in there is Glacier.
Well, but also,
and he's an old man.
But okay, let's see here. I'm gonna pull up. A lot of people are. I think I saw some rumors that Sonny Kiss was rumored to maybe win it.
Geez.
But let me see here.
You got to be kidding me.
I want to see how many slots they fill, because let's be honest, there could very well be that number 21 could be a big surprise entrant. Just saying. So what I'm gonna do here is look up Double or Nothing here real quick and check out the list of participants in the Battle Royal. Well, how are we doing on?
We're at 16 minutes.
Okay, so we gotta get ready for the Pillars here. The Pillars are coming up.
We only got AEW covered.
Yeah, you're right. Well, we can quickly go through the rest of the stuff here. So looking at maybe they don't have the Battle Royal. Oh, here we go. Sonny Kiss, Brandon Cutler, Ace Romero, Glacier, Brian Pillman, Sunny Days, MJF, Joey Janela, Chuck Taylor, Trent Beretta, Dustin Thomas. That's only 11 people. So we got 10 people right now. We still don't even know who's going to be in there. So those could be surprises. Just saying.
Yeah.
But
no one from that list is a top guy.
Well, Brian Pillman Jr., I've heard a lot of good things about Brian Pillman Jr., MJF, Joey Janela, those guys, Trent Beretta, one half of the best friends there, and Sonny Kiss. I could see those guys starting to, that's why they're here.
But you need some storyline to back those dudes up. They're still, a year away from being top guys.
As far as I'm concerned, this company, it's a fresh start. Everyone, it's like a movie.
But we already know who their top guys are.
And we know for it's like this is basically like a new movie starting. We know who's going to star in the movie. We know the big stars, but they got these supporting actors, so to speak. And this is just an analogy. The supporting actors, like the guys, like a Sonny Kiss, a Brian Pillman Jr., MJF, Joey Janela, Trent Beretta, guys like that could start, use that platform to start, to catapult themselves into stardom. So this is
right.
You got your top guys like your Hangman Page, Pac, Kenny Omega, Chris Jericho, Cody, and the Bucks, and then you got these young guys. They probably, the 4 EVPs they got probably approached these guys and said, "Hey, we think you can help us." And look, hey, with the money they're throwing around, if you get approached by them and you're not doing anything else with your life, I'm in. I'm all in, no pun intended.
Yeah, so, and seeing the work that they've done on being the elite, it seems like they're pretty high on MJF.
Yeah. So
they might push him.
Yeah, they could. So, and like I said, there's 11 people listed right now, which makes room. There's room for 10 more, so that have not been announced yet. So we'll see.
So we may get some bigger names in there.
We very well could, and don't be surprised. Maybe if I don't know if this is going to be on the pre-show or the pre-show or how they're going to do it, because all of a sudden this basically just became the Royal Rumble.
Right.
You get the title shot. This is exactly what what you get if you win the Royal Rumble in WWE. That's what you're going to get right now with the 21-man Casino Battle Royal for at AEW. Double or Nothing for the AEW World Championship. So
yeah,
it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. I can't wait.
Yeah.
All right, real quickly, Lars Sullivan. Apparently, they brought up some old posts from him on like bodybuilding.com where he just had some racist remarks. I'm not gonna go over the racist remarks, but he was saying racist remarks. Apparently, his thoughts on rape. On making fun of homophobia, racism, sexism, He believes people with mental illness are pretty weak-minded. He just, said some things that don't look good, and he released a statement. Now, these were posted some years ago. This is what he said. There's no excuse for the inappropriate remarks that I made years ago. They do not reflect my personal beliefs nor who I am today, and I apologize to anyone I offended. So
he didn't write that. Somebody from WWE wrote that and said, post this.
And Big E took to Twitter, and in regards to Lars Sullivan, this is what Big E had to say. Many are aware, if true, he has to bear the albatross of being a bigot and working in a company that is now filled with minorities. And it's just, I feel like he's gotten some heat, but they're continuing to push him. So a lot of fans are kind of, a little bit of backlash. Not a lot, but.
Yeah, this guy seems a lot more trouble than he's worth.
Yeah, and I just, he's got the look. Body-wise, his face just, I don't know, he's a scary guy. He's one of those guys, I don't even know if I could ever see him being, just based on how he looks, I just could never see him being a good guy in WWE. He just has that monster look to him. So we'll see what happens with Lars Sullivan. Hopefully they use him correctly, because I know he's a very athletic guy. I mean, he looked great when he was in NXT, so we'll see. But right now, he's getting a lot of heat from people based on his prior comments on those issues. One more thing before we get to the pillars. Ciampa tweeted out, got the results to my 2-month follow-up X-ray. Doc said this doesn't look good. It looks great. So Tommaso Ciampa seems like he's moving along quite nicely.
Speaking of a great heel.
And then next weekend, Full Throttle Wrestling.
Yes.
Fool in the City.
Full in the City.
Who's
May 18th.
Who's going to be there?
Our heavyweight champion, Tim, the Perfect Storm, former NWA World Heavyweight Champion. Of course, Titan from the Pillars is going to be there.
Yeah.
T-Ray is going to be there. Moonshine Mantell making his return, and he is going after the title. It's going to be absolutely amazing. We'll post more about it on our social media.
Absolutely. So I'm going to try and make it out there. I made it to the last one. It was fun.
You're an official photographer now. You got to be out there.
I got to be out there. Well, I don't know. I might have some prior engagements.
Dadgummit.
So I'm going to try and make it out there, though.
All right, let's hit this interview up.
Let's do this.
That's right, and live on the CBD4U.net hotline, we have one of the hottest tag teams in Texas and in the United States. We have the Pillars. Remember, CBD, it can help you with inflammation. It can help you with pain. It can help you go to sleep. It is an absolute miracle herb. Check it out, CBD4U.net. CBD made from Austin, Texas. The Pillars, what's up? We got Titan and Hunter with us. How you doing, guys?
What's up, baby? What's up?
Not much, man. We are absolutely pumped to have you guys on the podcast. And call me wrong, but I think I saw this on your Facebook page. This is the first podcast interview you guys have done?
Yes, indeed.
Absolutely amazing.
I mean, crazy how animated we are, but we have never done any podcasts. So I'm like, man, that's something we got to get on.
Well, hey, I'm so glad we're the first one. We're going to get to know you guys. We're going to talk about Texas wrestling. We're going to talk about your work in Impact Wrestling. And you have a show local to our podcast. We're broadcasting from Lake Charles, Louisiana, right down the road, Oakdale. We got Mid-South Championship Wrestling. They're going to be holding an event June 1st. We'll talk about that a little bit more later on in the interview. But let's start off with Texas wrestling, and then we'll get to know you guys a little bit better after that. So Texas wrestling, I'm just going to start rattling off some promotions. It almost seems like Texas wrestling is having a renaissance of some sorts. Lions Pride, Metroplex, Laredo Wrestling Alliance, Booker T's Reality Wrestling Main Event comes into Texas, Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance, Texas Wrestling Alliance, River City Wrestling, Heavy Metal Wrestling, and right down the road in Beaumont, Texas, from us, Hurricane Pro. Texas wrestling is kind of exploding right now.
Yeah. Texas has always been a very unique state when it comes to professional wrestling. It's obviously, largest state in the 48 contingent states, and it actually, reflects that with the wrestling, where some states you go to, they'll have one show a weekend. Maybe if you're lucky, we'll get 2 shows in. But in Texas, I can almost guarantee you there's about 5 or 6 shows going on every Friday, every Saturday, and every Sunday. And that offers a very unique opportunity for guys, and that opportunity is the chance to showcase yourself and get better and get the reps in and get the practice that we all need to get better.
Right. And Bill, and if you focus more into Texas, specifically San Antonio, so many of these companies are from San Antonio. What is up in the water in San Antonio where their scene is just like on fire?
Texas is just really big. I'm not from Texas, so I can't really talk much about it. I just go out there and hang out with Parviz
and kick butt.
Go wherever, go over where he says we're going.
well,
7 or 8 hours driving in that nation of a state.
Titan, what is it about San Antonio that's such a hotbed for wrestling right now?
Well, I think that they have the fans, honestly, that just they crave it, they want it, they desire it, they want to see more wrestling. The fans in San Antonio are just ridiculous. They can never get enough professional wrestling, and it seems like there's a promotion every week that's running over there, and it just keeps growing. It's crazy.
That is dope. And Laredo Wrestling Alliance, they made some waves last year with Jason David Frank and Mr. Stud Tackler Bryson Scott. And speaking of Bryson Scott, recently had a documentary on Comedy Central. So the Valhalla Club getting a lot of exposure right now from Jordan Klepper. And then I saw one Titan on there as well.
Yeah. It's actually pretty ironic, funny, however you want to say. So I think the Thursday before we started shooting, I was coming off of a competition. I think I got f***ed over, and the dude just kind of screwed me over on points because I compete as an actual competitive strongman. I am a legitimate two-sport professional athlete. And I think I was about a week off of a competition. It was a Thursday, and I won't forget it. I was just doing 225 for squats. You know, this is like, you know, for average person, it's a lot of weight. But for me, it's it's just working weight. And I'm doing squats, and I go all the way down. I start coming back up. I feel a massive pop in the left side of my hip. I'm like, oh, shit. 22-year-old me would have been like, oh, f*** that. We got another, 6 sets to do, and we got deadlifts, and we got, whatever else. But I was like, no, I'm not that young anymore. We got to go figure this out. Go to the literally put the weights racket, go to the chiropractor. I actually suffered a really bad hip injury when I first started training almost 8 years ago. So they popped my hip back into place.
Dang.
I took some pain medication, sucked it up that Friday, shot the show. And honestly, it's one of the reasons why I started using, of all things, not going to, give a cheap shout out, but I was actually using CBD to help deal with the pain that had happened in that hip. I just thought it was so funny because this, obviously the Comedy Central work is going to be seen by such a massive audience. I was like, well, I got to suck it up. I got to, work hurt, push through the pain, however you want to say it, whatever cliche you want to say. And I'm obviously very happy I did. I've been friends with Bryson, shout out, cheap pop to Bryson. I've known him since I pretty much started this business. He's like a brother to me. I met Eddie and Jan. They're great guys. We have the bond of being both professional wrestlers and being, partially disabled veterans. So it really meant a lot to me that they asked me to be a part of that, Kepler show. And it also meant even more when I actually got to see myself on TV, and I'm like, wow, I'm helping bring awareness to something that, not a lot of people know about.
Most exactly. And we had Bryson on the show probably, I would say 3 months ago. Really cool cat, really gracious.
Oh, sorry.
And, man, I hope that really takes his career to the next level because he definitely deserves it. Also, speaking about Texas wrestling, we talked about it earlier, Texas Wrestling Alliance. Of course, Rudy Gonzalez, Shawn Michaels. I mean, you can't get a bigger name, more recognition around the world than Shawn freaking Michaels with Texas wrestling. And then a local organization, Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance, making waves, announcing June 28th, TJ Perkins and Ty Dillinger in the freaking house.
That's good.
Yeah.
About that.
Gulf Coast, that's down in Corpus. They haven't, I think, well, actually, let me rephrase that. Actually, I think a couple of times they've contacted me about working, but unfortunately I had shoot job or another booking that weekend. But they do the work. They put the money in. And that's a really big thing we would all love to say that, we're all good enough to draw on our own. But, sometimes you need a TJ Perkins. Sometimes you need a, Ty Dillinger, Sean Spears, whatever he's working as today, to get people in the door. Because if you can get them in the door, that's my biggest thing that I always tell people when it comes to promotion. If you can get them in the door and get them to watch your product, if it's good, then they're going to be like, okay, we'll come back next time, even if, Hornswoggle isn't there.
Right.
I can only say that because I put him over twice, so it's okay. Shout out to Swoggle.
We're talking to the Pillars. They are a tag team, and they are lighting up the indie scene all across the United States right now. You can check them out on Facebook, The Pillars TV. It is on the CBD4U.net hotline. Now, Bill, you recently had a tryout with WWE. Tell us about that experience.
They made me do a lot of cardio.
Yeah, I guess you were not a fan.
Down. I ran a lot of ropes. No, it was really, really fun. Other than, the horrible cardio, blowout drills. Just seeing the Performance Center, words can't really describe it. It is a facility for sure. And just seeing how they run things down there, it's professional.
It's definitely a well-oiled machine.
Yes, indeed.
Now, speaking of a well-oiled machine, after Dixie Carter got her hands off of it, seems like Anthem is bringing Impact back in a big way. And you guys have done some work for Impact. Tell us a little bit about that, guys, how that came about and how your experiences were.
We died. Rosemary killed us.
Rosemary killed us.
No!
Shout out to Rosemary. She killed us. And almost literally did, too. She almost killed us.
Yeah. Hey, is that the real Cleaver? Oh, yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. So back in November of last year, Impact held open tryouts, and I was talking to Bill. I'm like, you know what, dude? Let's do it. I personally, go for broke in life, and I was like, you know what? They're having a tryout. Let's go do it, man. Worst case scenario, we can go to Heart Attack Grill. Shout out to Heart Attack Grill. It's in Vegas. It's amazing.
I was just like, yeah, Vegas. Let's go get fat.
Hell yeah. And it's legal there too. I mean, CBD is awesome.
Yes.
So we end up going. I mean, it was at least 200 people, Bill, maybe more.
It was a lot. I only have 10 fingers, but I counted a lot.
Yeah, there was a ton of people there. We all ran matches. And as I said, over 200 people there. Of the 200 people, maybe 9 guys got chosen for television. And of those 9 guys, Bill and I were the only 2 that were not local to the promotion and to the area. So, obviously, if you're a big star in Vegas, then they're going to use you on television, correct?
Right.
So me and Bill were the only 2 that were not, kind of guys that were local and, known to that Las Vegas wrestling scene, and we were chosen. So we were chosen. We had a match on Explosion, and we kind of got the vibe more or less that, we're having another taping in February. You guys should come back. We rehearsed it a couple times, and then Jimmy Jacobs is like, all right, we ready? We ready? All right. Camera's ready. Everybody's set. Hold on a second. And he walks over to Rosemary and picks up that cleaver, and he's like, hey, can we get her the fake cleaver this time? I'm like, wow. She just drugged that across my neck twice, but okay.
Oh, jeez.
And then, so they replaced it. So I would have, yeah.
Well, luckily she's a professional.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she's amazing. I mean, even bigger, shout outs and props. Most people don't realize, it takes Bill and I a good amount of time to get ready between the paint and the fur and all the other gimmicks we got to put on. But, their stuff is even more intricate than ours. So for performers like, Stu Young and Allie and Rosemary, for them to sit there and put on all that paint, Stu Young does it all herself. And then whenever she has the Undead Bride, she does all of them herself too. That, I found that super impressive. I'm like, I'm not that talented. I can't make up
I
those.
get frustrated just doing our own war paint.
Yeah, I know.
Start punching walls. I can't imagine doing something that intricate for an army of people. Because there was like 7 or 8 of them running around with her, right? Again, I didn't count that high. I didn't want to.
And that match on Explosion, that was a great match. I remember I was playing around on my Global Force app, and I was like, hold up, I know these guys. And then I was like, all right. So you guys, on the Explosion episode, you went against the 1%. What can you say about those guys?
Actually, Royce is from Colorado as well. He started around the same time I did. I don't know Jarrell that well, but Royce is a solid dude.
Right on.
Oh, yeah. We've gotten a chance to work with both of them a few times. Like I said, Royce is from Colorado. I've done a few. I've been working a little bit more often in Colorado trying to spread the Pillars' name. But both guys are amazing guys, great athletes, just It's so crazy that you talk about, the independent scene blowing up in Texas, because, I mean, honestly, it's blowing up all over the place.
Nice.
You can just look at the two guys. You could put them on TV against the Usos and you'd believe it. You know what I mean?
Right.
It wouldn't be like, oh, why are these two guys in kick pads and T-shirts wrestling, the biggest team in the world? No, they look like stars. They perform like stars, and that's a big thing that, people seem to neglect these days, that you do need to look like a star. And there are just so many guys now, even on the independent scene at this level now, that are putting in the time, putting in the work, putting in the effort to make themselves look like an actual performer, a professional wrestler.
They look like wrestlers, not like Joe Schmo off the street corner decided to get a pair of shooter shoes, kick pads, and tights. They still got a beer gut hanging out.
We're talking with the Pillars live on the CBD4U.net hotline. Let's talk about how you guys met each other, because you talked about how you're from 2 different states. Let's talk about how you met and how it came about for this gimmick of the Pillars.
Yeah, well, it's actually ironic, funny, however you want to say. But, I was just watching YouTube one day, just watching different videos and wrestling. I would like to say, just for the record, I love professional wrestling. I enjoy it. I watch it. I watch independent wrestling. I'm not one of those people, oh, I'm too cool to watch the network, or, oh, no, I don't watch this show. No, dude, I watch everything. I enjoy. I can find enjoyment in all types of wrestling, whether it be spot fests or 80s kind of big pomp and circumstance, or even like death matches. So I was watching all these different videos, and just in those, on the side of your screen, they have that, videos you may like kind of button or whatever.
Right.
And one of them had a match. I want to say it was from, at the time, New Era Pro Wrestling, which is what was it called before?
It's always been that.
No. Rocky Mountain used to be.
I can't remember. It's been a while.
NRG or something. It's not NRG Stadium. But anyways, yeah, it was an old episode of that, and the little pic in the thumbnail was Bill, and I'm like, whoa, that's a big, scary looking jacked dude. I bet I could steal some shit from him. So I clicked on the video and I started watching, and I'm like, wow, this guy's really good. And this is, a few years ago, maybe 3-4 years ago. Then after that, after I saw the video, I just found him on social media and we started talking. You can take it from there, Bill, from WrestleMania, what was it, Dallas?
I think so, because that was when I first got set up with everything in Texas, and we initially met because we got booked in a match together, and I feel like the moment we walked in the locker room was one of those, the mime spot where they try to do the same thing the other one is doing. I felt like it was one of those things. I put my left hand out, he puts his left hand out, I shake my right leg, he shook his right leg.
Yeah.
It was really weird. It was like looking into a mirror. That was what the promoter said, after the match. He's walking around why aren't you guys a tag team? We looked at each other huh? Why aren't we a tag team?
Yeah, and the rest, they say, is history. We just started teaming together, and our personalities, I think, is what makes us such a great team, is we blend very well. Our philosophies and our instincts are very similar, because I can do something in the ring, and then I'll go back and watch the footage, and I'll be like, wow, Bill's doing the same thing in another area of the match, and I didn't even ask. We automatically had that, kind of like same wavelength that we were thinking about doing something, and we both did it. So it's kind of it's a crazy thing to kind of develop that chemistry, especially, like I said, we've only been teaming for a couple of years now, comparatively to, teams that have had 7, 8, 9, 10 years, and then they start getting that kind of same wavelength and same kind of connection, for lack of a better term.
Exactly. And the Pillars gimmick is absolutely amazing, and you guys are perfect for it. I mean, one of the best things about you guys is, as fans, we love to suspend our disbelief. And when you guys come out, I can totally believe that you're some badass Viking warriors from the Northern Kingdom.
It's pretty easy to believe that when there's a 300-pound man chasing you with a battle axe, isn't it?
Yep, most definitely.
Yeah, I think that it was honestly, I think it was something that I think we both kind of quote unquote needed in our own, careers at that point. The biggest thing that a lot of people have told me over the years is like, dude, you're great. You can work, you can talk, you got a great look, but you're missing something. And they didn't know what that something was. And honestly, it was a gimmick. Give me something that I can use as the foundation of my performance, and I'll do it. I'll go all into it. I'll go double or nothing into it. Whenever, I started adopting more of the Viking barbarian kind of gimmick, it is, I could see where people will say that it is dated, that it is kind of over the top. It's kind of, hokey, whatever, you want to call it. But that's what professional wrestling is. It's a performance. It's something different. I think that if Bill and I were to stand up in a locker room, of course, even if we were just, regular trunks and boots and knee pads, we'd stand out because of the size, because of the look, because there's two of us. But because there is a gimmick on top of that, it's the icing on the cake. It makes it that much better. And I also feel that, people that quote unquote chastise a gimmick, as I just said, I was watching, Road to Double or Nothing, and Chris Jericho attacked a dude with a cane in a, office building. You know what I mean? We want to believe that as fans. We want to believe that these guys are the ones that they perform as on TV, that there is some small aspect of truth to the performance. And for those fans, they want to believe that we are the two guys sitting on the couch in Game of Thrones in full makeup and, war paint and fur watching Game of Thrones, like that's what they want to believe that we do. That's what we do. It's not as off as it seems. It's
right.
Not as strange as you may think it is.
Right. And then recently, I think you had some issues with TSA. They confiscated one of your axes. Yeah. So we were going back for the second set of Impact's tapings, and we get to the hotel, we get unpacked, and then I'm like, all right, let's grab the weapons. We got to go for the first day of the tapings. And I'm going through my bag, and I see one of those little, I don't know if people have ever gotten these. They're slips that TSA legally has to put into your bag saying that, hey, we opened it up. We had to go through it because, we felt there was a threat. I go through it, and I'm like, wait, where's my axe? It was, pretty decent size. It's not a real quote unquote axe. It's a replica axe. But, I was like, okay, well, this is strange. So call up TSA. Oh, sorry, sir. We don't know. Blah, blah, blah. Must have been a mistake. I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. I want to know what happened to my axe. So finally, after going back and forth with them forever, they were like, we're sorry, sir. We felt that your axe was a quote unquote threat to public safety, so we had to confiscate it. They said, well, we can't give it to you and let you have it at the airport. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I guess that sucks, but whatever. Can you send it back? I'll give you a mailing address, mail it back to my house. They were like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. We can't do that. I'm what?
Like, why? Oh, I'm sorry, sir. That's against policy. That's against regulation. I'm like, yeah, that's bullshit. Somebody was in the back of TSA. They opened up my bag. They saw a nice gold, wooden polished axe, and they were like, "Ooh, I want to take this home with me." So somebody in the back in TSA just decided they were going to keep my axe, and they were like, "All right, well, we can't return the axe to you, sir, but we can compensate you." I'm like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "We can get you a check for the full price of the axe. How much was it?" And I'm like, and I threw out a number because I asked Bill. It ended up being 3 times more than what I paid for the axe. But
Yes.
Don't let them know that.
Well, I mean, it was the exact price of the axe. And just to be spiteful, I got the check and I turned around and bought the exact same axe again off of Amazon, just to be like, you know what, TSA. That was bullshit.
Then he gambled the rest of the money away.
So if you're going to be doing like an event where you're flying, how are you going to get it there now? You're going to have to ship it to yourself or something?
Well, it's ironic, too, because also the massive sword that was shown on Impact that Rosemary used to kill everybody, that's my sword as well. And ironically enough, the sword, the mace, all the weapons we had on there were ours. So,
Yeah,
that was cool. But the axe, nope. You can carry a sword if you want, but
you can have a mace. You can have, but yeah, I mean, we've traveled with it. Bill is. Let's just for all intents, Bill's axe is bigger than mine, giggity. And he brings it on the plane. He'll put it in his carry-on all the time.
Oh.
So I don't understand why they felt, like I said, I figure it was just somebody looked through the bag and was like, "Oh, this is really cool. I want to keep it." So,
Bill,
what happened?
Bill, what did the TSA's agent's face look like when he scans your bag and there's a big old axe in it?
Usually, I have to go through the whole explanation of why there's a 6-foot battle axe in there. At this point, though, with some of the Denver people, it's just like, "Oh, hey, Bill, how's the axe?"
Right on. Well, you guys are going to be here locally June 1st in Oakdale, Louisiana, Mid-South Championship Wrestling, Wrestle War. WWF legend One Man Gang is going to be there.
That's right. One Man Gang. It's actually, that's probably the biggest, I'm trying to think of it's just the biggest cherry on top of the sundae for me whenever I get a chance to perform. Last time Mid-South Wrestling had Animal, and, I don't know if you'd maybe be able to put connect the dots, but Animal and Hawk are a very large part. It's probably my favorite tag team of all time. So being able to meet Animal, that's, I think, the 3rd time that I've gotten to meet him. It was amazing. And then, like I said, same thing, One Man Gang, huge inspiration to me. A lot of guys growing up, they wanted to be, I want to be Hulk Hogan. I want to be, Macho Man. I want to be, this really cool guy that everybody loves and is tan and ripped. I'm like, nah, dude, I want to be fucking One Man Gang. I want to be Vader. I want to be Bundy. I want to be Bam Bam. I want to be big and ugly and scary and nasty. And it's just being able to see. Exactly. Mission accomplished. But I find it such a treat for me that, I get to meet, I got to meet Animal. I got to meet a lot of these guys that I saw as a, young man, a boy. I was able to watch these guys on TV, and they were my favorite thing in the world. So it's just being able to meet them now is just the cherry on top of the, sundae of being able to perform.
Most definitely. All our peeps here in Southwest Louisiana is definitely going to be worth the drive. Wrestle War going on June 1st in Oakdale, Louisiana at the Mallard Civic Center. Doors open at 5, bell time at 6.
This is actually the first time that the Pillars will be performing in that area.
Yes.
I've been doing a lot of professional wrestling in Louisiana. I mean, you mentioned Lake Charles. That's one of the places I got my start was with Full Throttle Wrestling. And honestly, you name the promotion in Southern Louisiana, I've already worked for them. But this is the first time, and possibly the only time, that the people of Southern Louisiana are going to get an opportunity to see the Pillars live and in tie-dye,
Look, I know Oakdale's going to love you. That crowd is always hot. And when you guys come out that ramp, you guys are going to absolutely blow them away, and they're going to love you.
I think it's crazy too, because we've been told this by multiple people that have, made a lot more money in this business than we have, that, we're both very good. individually, but together it's almost like a who can top this competition. So I start getting crazy, then he starts getting even crazier, so I try to top him, so he tries to top me, so then basically Bill and I are just going back and forth to try to get the biggest reaction from the crowd. So it's just like fueling the fire of the match, and it just makes it that much better. It's such a unique and interesting experience for the fans to see these two guys that, you know, are just out of their freaking minds and just going insane, you know, and it's not, and like he said, it's not just, you know, 140-pound dudes doing, you know, springboards and stuff like that. These are, you know, we're both over 6 feet. We're both nearly 300 pounds with abs, with, you know, muscles, doing all these things. And it's such a different thing for the fans to experience live.
Right. Oh, and another funny post I want to bring up to all the peeps out there. They need to follow you on Facebook, Titan, because one of the funniest posts I saw was it was a picture of you and Bill, I think in a Planet Fitness, and you said when you guys walked in, their eyes got as big as softballs, and they said, "Please don't break anything."
We did break stuff.
Yeah, I think that was when I was training for a competition and Bill was training for his WWE tryout. So, like, we were just, like I said, whenever we walked in there, was literally like, they were like, "Oh, okay, you both are?" It's like, yeah. It's like, "Please don't break anything." It's like, no promises.
I made that treadmill cry.
Yeah.
We've been pimping out your Facebook page at The Pillars TV. Where, what other social media platforms can they find you guys on?
We also have a Twitter and an Instagram. I don't remember the names offhand. Give me 1 second.
Well, our individual Facebooks and Twitters, you can look up Norse Nightmare for Bill Hunter, or you can look up mine, which you either can type in Paul Titan or the Paul Titan, Paul_Titan, some along those lines. I'm the only Paul Titan, thankfully, for now, in professional wrestling here in the United States. So you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We're working on the YouTube stuff. That's kind of a much more intricate and detailed platform that we're going to have to devote, a little more time to.
Basically, what Titan's saying is we don't know computers that well.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I think is so fun as well, is that, you know, as calm, quote unquote, as we are right now, like whenever we get out there, we don't break gimmick. We don't break characters. So whenever we perform, we perform as characters. So it's such a unique thing because we'll do everything in gimmick from as soon as we get in front of the fans to the time we leave at the merch table. All the stuff that we do is all, you know, driven by the characters. So when people see that, it throws them off, and it's so crazy. But the other thing is that it allows for such unique opportunities. Like one of the last times I was in Colorado, there was a professional lacrosse game that had a fundraiser for a young man who had needed some money for surgery, and had a lot of wrestlers there. And Bill and I mean, we got there in gimmick, in character, full stuff, and we went out there and just interacted with people at a 30,000 seat arena. Wow. And just passed out flyers for Rocky Mountain Pro. Shout out to Rocky Mountain Pro. We interacted with the fans. We took pictures. We were able to do all that in character and in gimmick. And it's something that is it's so different for people to see these two massive guys in fur and acting like that. And it also allows, like I said, for very unique opportunities for vignettes and promos. The promos that we've done, I've actually been very proud of because they're not the traditional professional wrestling promo. We try to find places that are unique. We try to find situations that are not quote unquote everyday situations that you'd see. And we use that as the basis for our promos. And if hopefully someday we get the opportunity. I mean, I was watching Raw's War from 1998 the other day, and they just had DX walking down the street in New York, interacting with people. You know, Triple H and New Age Outlaws. They were just going down the street as, you know, the gimmick and talking to people. And I think that's something that people that, you know, the national companies today are missing, is give the fans that opportunity to interact with the professional wrestlers on a personal level like that. And it would just create such a greater, you know, admiration for the performers and for the product. So if you could have the Pillars, let's just go walk down. We did walk down Bourbon Street. And, you know, Bill grabbed some random kid and scared the crap out of him.
I bet.
You know what I mean? Like wouldn't you want us, like, you know, of all the segments on Raw, if you just saw, you know, Bill and I, full gimmick, walking down the street, you know, on Bourbon Street, wouldn't that be entertaining? That would be something that people would watch and enjoy, that could enjoy.
Yeah, I can imagine the conversation. The mom was probably like, "Go get our kid," and the dad was like, "No, I'm staying in the truck. I'm good."
Yeah, but just being able to create that, you know, interaction with the fans is what I feel that, you know, a lot of guys feel, I guess, they're too cool for now. They're just going to be performers and we're just going to wrestle and be myself, as opposed to, you know, taking on a character that is unique and that people are always going to remember, you know?
Most definitely. Well, again, you guys on Facebook, tons of pictures, tons of videos. Follow the Pillars TV. On Twitter, Pillars_Destiny, and on Instagram, _Pillars_of_Destiny. Titan and Hunter.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Names. We had to come up with new ones.
You guys are awesome. We appreciate your time, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
All right, they're taking Texas and the nation by storm. The Pillars, go check them out on social media. Give them a follow. And speaking of that, follow us on social media at the AverageMarks, Twitter, Facebook, Patreon, Twitch. We're all there.
Yeah, and that was a lengthy little interview there. So just about out of time now. That was a good interview, though.
And that was their first interview.
Yeah, and that was great. So we appreciate the Pillars, Titan and Hunter. You know, taking some time to sit with you and get interviewed. So that's great. Great interview. It was, like I said, a little lengthy, but hey, sometimes if it's a good interview, you just can't keep on rolling with it, you know?
That's right.
Kind of took up a little, you know, ran out of time, but that's okay.
Yeah, if you want to hear that uncensored interview, go to patreon.com/theaveragemarks. You can hear all our exclusive audio and video with the B-Team tier, which is $5 a month. Thanks to all our listeners on KEZM here in Southwest Louisiana, 1310 AM, KEZMonline.com. Thanks to all the people tuning in for the podcast. We love you. Patrick, get us out of here, son.
Outro.
You've been listening to the AverageMarks Pro Wrestling Podcast with Michael Leander and Patrick Fry. All opinions discussed in the show are those of the AverageMarks and do not represent any wrestling company, organization, or individual. For more information on the show, follow us on Twitter and iTunes. AMP is a proud member of the Roar Network, powered by thegorillaposition.com.